Radio Free Tatooine presents Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
Boshuda, fellow Holotable hustlers, you're tuned into Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, a.k.a. the other Sean, and sitting across the Holotable from me is Josh, a.k.a. the Golden Pop-Tart.
I know we've been gone for about 2 weeks, but it feels like I've been just running a marathon that whole time. Like instead of
in-game or like your legs hurt?
Actually, a little bit of both, but I would say it's more like my wallet's like really tired at this point. Like, like in the cartoons where you like just imagine the wallet opening and there's just a puff of smoke that comes out of it.
Yeah.
Like there has been so much that has happened the last 2 weeks and everybody was hungry. They all wanted to grind, unfortunately. So, man.
Yeah. It's just like having kids. A roster of 260 some kids.
Right. And it's just, man.
They all want something.
Well, I mean, it was obviously with May 4th, there was so much happening and so much to unlock.
Yeah.
That it just, means that sometimes like you got to set the other kids aside a little bit because you got a little bit of work to do with these new babies coming in. So,
yeah, no doubt. And we have had some babies popping into our rosters. Let me tell you, it's been a week. It's been a 2 week stretch, right? We got new Datacrons. We haven't talked about those, so that's going to happen. We have 2 rounds of Grand Arena to cover. A lot of interesting stories. I got some war stories from this last Grand Arena. And we both, I'll just spoil it right now.
Yeah,
we have Bo-Katan. We have Bo-Katan Mandalore.
Yes, we do.
And we got a few things to say about that. I was going to say that real quick, like just, we could talk the whole hour going through the events, but we'll keep it a little bit shorter. But we have a clean rating in like Apple Podcasts. So if we spent a whole hour talking about that Bo-Katan event, the language would get colorful.
There'd be a lot of bleeping.
No doubt. All right. Yeah. So we're going to talk about all that plus whatever else pops up. You know how we derail. There will be derailments. I can guarantee that. Can't guarantee much, but that one I know. All right. But first, let's celebrate some Blurf days. Big ones this week are on the 17th. We've got the OG Echo, the 501st Echo, turning 8 years old. My goodness.
Wow.
8 years.
I mean, that's driving and going off to college in SWOGA years.
And I feel like I say this every now and then when there's an older character like this that a Blurf Day pops up for, that I just feel like, you always see stuff on Facebook that's like the Skeletor meme that's like,
yes, right.
The 1980s are closer to 1920 than they are to now or whatever, that's not the math, but it's always some depressing, you are old thing. That's how I feel with this. I'm like, man, 8 years ago I unlocked him. Oh man.
Yeah.
We've been through it. I don't think I had any gray hairs in my... No, I had some gray hairs in my beard. I was bald when I could walk, but man, it's been so long since the 501st has been like a thing in here with Echo. And then on the 17th, we also have Vandor Chewie and Young Han turning 6 years old, which ain't exactly a spring chicken.
No.
Yikes. And I still, you know what? They're still both like at a relic level where I'm like, I should get them a little higher. One of these days, I don't know. Just young Han for territory battles.
And that's what I was wondering with. It just doesn't seem like both of those characters are really not something that I have any need for at this point. That's the tough part. Like, these are ones that I feel like that people, when they came out back in 2018, they got. But I think the newer people here, they're looking at Vandor going, yeah, you can probably get us a couple revives. But, I mean, young Han, there's not much that says, come on, grind me.
Yeah, the only thing with young Han is get him to Relic 5 for territory battles in the first day of territory battle on Rise of the Empire. There's a bonus mission where you do him at Relic 5 and Kira at Relic 5. I did that pretty early. I already had them both at 3. So when the territory battle first came out, I was like, well, some of these jokers are taking Hoth Rebel Soldier to Relic 8 for operations. I'll be a good guildie
and there you go.
And take these two people to Relic 5, and then I have contributed to Rise of the Empire, and don't ask anything more of me.
That's funny.
I mean, I've done more, but yeah, I mean, that, and then with Vandor Chewie, when this team came out, it was like, Kira Lead was like, kind of tough for a while in Grand Arena, like early Grand Arena. It was kind of a tough team, but then, obviously power creep happens and they're not relevant at all. None of them, just completely useless. Yeah. But, territory battles comes around, and then Dash comes around.
Oh, yeah.
And Vandor Chewie suddenly is like, okay, I kind of like that, You tank him up, and he's kind of handy on that team. Now, the counterpoint to that is Dash has really fallen out of relevance in Grand Arena. I mean, I still set the team on defense, I think, but it ain't. I don't even have his Omicron, so it's not a world beater by any means. But,
I mean, I like him in 3v3. Having Han and Chewie with him.
Yeah.
I feel like I can just delete not a top tier team by any means, but I'm with you. And I think that's my problem too with this, is just, it has to have a lot of value, for me to do it. And I just feel bad that there's these characters that, I mean, I want Vandor 2 to be good. I want young Han to be good. I really need to rewatch those movies though. Like the older, like some of those, I think about that, and with, like Rogue One.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah. I love Solo, and my kids were very young when that came out on Blu-ray, and this was slightly before Disney Plus, I think. Yeah, a little bit. And I used to play that all the time because there's no terrifying moments in it, and like the kids could just be around, and it was a good family style adventure. Slightly related. I told you we were going to derail.
Of course.
It's so slightly related. But in that cluster, right? So there's Kira, there's young Han, there's Vandor Chewie. We've discussed their relevance. Lando, kind of not super great. You need his Falcon for one of the Rise of the Empire things, or actually, no, you do need him for one of the higher things, but I don't have him at those relics. It's like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
But played by Donald Glover, a.k.a. Childish Gambino. His like new North American, or it might be world, I think it's North American tour for his new album. Tickets just went on sale. And
That's cool.
I think I might go. Like,
nice.
That would be a fun time. This is supposed to be his last album. So like, do it now if you're thinking about it. And the ticket prices weren't that bad. I didn't look at all the fees and stuff, but like $65, I think, were
that's not bad at all,
the cheap
right?
seats. And me, I'll do the cheap seats. That's fine.
Oh, for sure.
Binoculars.
I was gonna say they got speakers back there,
Right. I'll just tailgate it, Okay, so on the 20th, we have the Rebel Y-Wing, an icon of a ship. I mean, obviously, because it goes back to 77, but it's also like,
Right.
you know, that's the backbone of any Rebel fleet. It was the backbone of a good Home One. It's the backbone of a Profundity. It takes the hits so that Dash doesn't have to.
There you go, right?
On the 22nd, and that's, what is that? That's 4 years old. On the 22nd, we've got, here's another old moment. Commander Ahsoka Tano turning 3 years old, which doesn't sound that bad, but that means we've been banging our head against Conquest for 3 straight years.
And there was one more. Yeah, she was the second one, wasn't she?
Yeah, Razor Crest.
Razor Crest,
right?
yeah. Of course, those, they bait and switch us pretty bad on that one. We're like, all right, Vader's destroying everybody. Conquest is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And they're like, nay, here you go.
No.
But still, I think she was relatively pretty, like, she wasn't too bad though, right?
What?
I mean, was that Conquest? Do you remember? I know it's been a couple years, but
yeah, you know what? Those first couple Conquests were so much easier. I mean, I get it. I get why they made some changes, but yeah, those first couple ones were real nice and just I don't have to stress, you know?
No.
And we didn't have Rise of the Empire, which is, you know, Rise of the Empire, I will say, is fun. The battles are, for the most part, fun. I mean, there's a couple issues I have, like the Scythe mission is, I literally, all of my ships were dead before I took a turn.
Right.
Which is usually, I mean, I've never won it, but like, whatever. I got a minute. I'm on the toilet. Let's do this.
or for me, auto.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even have a chance to start the battle and everything just died. And I'm like, well, I mean, at a certain point, you just have to say, like, this is bad. This one here is bad. Like, Rise of the Empire is good overall, I think.
Yeah.
But there's, like I said, a couple little moments. And the constantly reviving Night Sisters, that can go kick rocks.
Yeah,
I don't ever need to do that. But that's just a little bit of salt on my sweet review of Rise of the Empire. All right, back to business. We got too much to talk for me to be doing that. Let's take a look at this week's upcoming in-game events, brought to you by SWGOH events.com for a complete list of past, present, and future events. SWGOHevents.com is a universe of info in a galaxy of heroes. This week has some pretty cool stuff. I like it. I mean, we don't have Bo-Katan and Cal Kestis coming back. That's top tier.
Yeah.
But we got some good stuff. We've got an Omega battle on the 17th, as well as a new Galactic challenge, of course, every Friday. This will be on Camino, and you will get bonuses for droids. You're playing against Mandalorians. On the 18th, we've got Pieces and Plans, Mythic, as well as Ground War, Assault Battle. We love to see it. On the 19th, we've got Smuggler's Run 2. That's my least favorite thing in the world.
Oh, great. There's horrible.
So bad. I don't even know how many characters are in the game. I think it's around 260. But I feel like I've made it painfully clear over the years on this podcast that I don't know what I'm doing necessarily. Like, we were talking on Discord earlier. I'm in Kyber 1, and I'm like doing pretty well in Kyber 1. That said, I know just enough to make most counters work, and I almost never miss a battle. You know, like I'm there, I'm playing the game. So even though I'm like just dumb, like I can do well because I spend so much doggone time screwing around on this game. But where was I going with this? This was Smuggler's Run. Yeah, Smuggler's Run 2. I am not too proud to announce that I only recently, like within the last couple months, learned that Embo is the key to that. He dispels taunts with his he dispels with his basic. I was trying it with Boba Fett. I would try it with Embo, but I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm doing specials all the time. And someone in my guild pointed it out. I think it was Pilgrim. I don't know. Whoever it is, if it wasn't Pilgrim, Pilgrim would take credit for it. I know he absolutely would. Yeah, so like dispel the taunts, and then you can focus on the dangerous enemies. Awesome. So that made it a lot easier, but it's still like a good half hour of my day spent on this stupid event twice. I hate it.
I know.
All right. Soapbox returned. Territory War as well. Sign up on the 19th, number 325. And let's see, what else do we have on the 20th? Oh boy, we got a lot. We got an Omega battle on Dathomir. We've got Grand Arena Season 53. We're going back to 3v3. And new Datacrons. I got Bo and Cal. That's new.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be an exciting time. That is sign up on the 20th. We'll also have a new Galactic challenge because that is going to be a Monday, of course. And the other fun thing, I can't believe that it works out like this. It never works out like this. Dark Sovereign, the Leviathan Fleet Mastery will be returning on the 20th. Same day as Grand Arena sign up. It seems
That's
like
awesome.
it's always like a new thing comes out right after Grand Arena lock.
I know, right?
But this, I'm going to be able to get my Leviathan to 7 stars finally. And not be afraid of little executors and negotiators or whatever else I've lost to with Leviathan. Yeah. And actually be able to confidently walk into a fleet battle with my Leviathan. So that's really exciting.
It's a nice feeling.
Oh, man, it's the best. On the 22nd, we have Endor Escalation. And then on the 23rd, another Territory War, number 326, sign up. We'll start. There may be other stuff. Isn't sometime in this week Qui-Gon expected to appear?
Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be, but right before... so I mean, it could technically be up until, like, they said that he was going to be out before she was unlocked, which is she is going to be Queen Amidala.
Yeah.
So I mean, technically, we have 11 days for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be
It'd
early
be nice
the week after, but
all right. Before
you're jonesing for.
I'm jonesing for a poncho. So you knew what I was going to say there.
All right. Before we dive into this week's top stories, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoy what we do and want to be a part of our community, head over to patreon.com/Galactic War Report. Your support makes this podcast possible, and you'll even get access to the VIP section of our Discord server for some behind-the-scenes tomfoolery. Now then, punch it, Pop-Tart.
See, the fun part is we got some fun stuff today, and I know some of it's been out for a couple days, so we'll go and gloss over some of it there, starting with the web store. I will say, I mean, it's a facelift. I mean,
yeah, it looks a lot better.
I mean, I'm not that person that really wrote down and did like a $13,000 or word essay on what it looks like and that I care, but I mean, I will say it looks nice. It
looks better. I will say, have you also been having issues like you don't stay signed in? You got to redo it every stupid day.
Painful.
Which is, it's not hard to do, but it's just
I know,
one more
but
thing,
I'm not sure if I should say that. I'm so American that I just like, I expect AC and I also expect that every single login is going to just, work.
Excuse me, this steak is still pink in the middle. Can I, can I get that fixed?
Yeah, right. Actually, I'm going to be the other way, but it's like, hey, this is done. I wanted it less done, but no.
Man, I remember my sister and I talk about this all the time. We grew up, not all the time. That'd be weird if we literally.
Yeah, it would be actually.
Every
but it's
day.
okay,
Let's talk about meat.
Yes.
Growing up, it was like, everything was always at restaurants ordered well done. And so like we had this perception that it's going to be good because it's well done. And that if it's pink, like that's poorly done. And so, because my dad was just like, he wants his stuff like crunchy.
Yeah.
So, it was just like this awakening when we went off to school and could order our own food. And we're like, wait a second, you can just get like juicy meat?
Yes.
That's a thing with flavor? And now I don't eat any of it. But
hey,
still, it was a discovery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for web store, like I said, that was kind of the big news. We got a little bit of upgrades on that one. So why don't we move into the Datacrons? And, I think with this one too, this one kind of popped out in our week of heading out. So some of you have already used this. All I can say is that whether you love them or you hate them, they changed the game. And it seems like this time around, I mean, the fact that, of all the Galactic Legends, and I know I'm jumping to the end real quick, but I wanted to kind of to get this out there first. SLKR has not had a lifter. He hasn't had a real Datacron that's made him like more relevant. I mean, he's been awesome this whole time, but this guy, and I put on here, he got swole. I mean, that's the only way I can describe this. And so I know we're starting with the beef or the meat, then we're moving back to the potatoes. But so in his deal 5% more damage per relic amplifier level of all allies present at the start of the battle.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I know it's just 5%, but man.
Well, it's just 5%, but think you got 5 people on the team, right?
Yep.
Oh God, why am I doing this? Math?
I know.
Oh God. All right, calculator.
Say they're all relic 5, right? 5 times 5 is
5 would be 25 times 5 is 125.
Yep.
So that's and that's pretty conservative because like he's a Galactic Legend, so a lot of people are going to have him at 7, 8, or 9, and there's others on the team that are like crew. You need it 7.
Yeah, crew.
A lot of
7.
A lot of stuff. So
a lot of 9s on that one too.
Let's say you're all relic 7. That's 175% to start.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, right before we started the show, we were messing around with our Datacrons, like the very mature professional people we are, and like there's a lot of other offense you can get from these too.
Oh yes.
And specifically, I just rolled that big long paragraph of First Order one that like a First Order ally scores a crit, leader gains 10% offense, stacking max 200. That's not going to take long to max out either. So like, I don't care what your little Holdo punk is doing. This is going to kill her.
Oh yeah.
Finally. So overpowered? Maybe. But it counters an overpowered defensive Datacron, and that makes this beautiful to me. Well,
and I wonder too, is this basically what I know right now there's not too many Gungans out there, but there's still some Gungans out there. Now, the fact that, maybe this is how you beat the Gungans too. Maybe they said, okay, if you have the Gungans on my neck of the woods, it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
But when you have it to where even here's this first one, another one says at the start of their first turn, allies gain a offense equal to 400 of their current defense until the end of the battle. So I'm in 3v3.
That's the old Empire had that in the set that just expired, right? Yeah.
So if he's going to have that first turn, say 130% because of the relic amplifiers plus the 400.
Yeah.
And
he's a GL, so his speed is insane. So he's one move away from leveling almost every team in the game.
And I did watch. I watched some video that was out there, and It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm worried a little bit on defense, to be honest. I know this makes sense to have on offense, but
I was thinking about that too. I've never considered placing Slicker on defense, but this would make sense. That said, that's not my play style. If there's something either that's like a killer on offense, I'm going to find a way. It took me a while. Like I used to use Malgus on defense, and I feel like over time, more and more stuff kind of countered it. So there's that, but it's such a powerful offensive team. Like I will find a way to move all that stuff to offense. I like putting either trash or just clearly defensive teams like the Holdo
for sure,
or Trench. Trench is a great defensive team too.
Ray, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'm happy with this set. Yeah. I think it looks fun. I say that now. I'll be swearing at my phone in a few days. But yeah, let's go over what are the other highlights to you. You've got obviously First Order. First Order is the headline, right?
Correct. Yeah.
They're amazing. Slicker's amazing, and who's the other one? First Order Special Forces TIE Pilot. Yeah. That dude can't die.
Yeah.
If Slicker's alive, he is alive.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
I love that.
If Slicker has no fans, then I am dead. Like if you've got Slicker, you just can't kill this guy, and he's a beast. So I really like those two, but it's kind of like the Ray and Holdo thing. Like, which one do you use? And I think,
true. Well, I know the one that you're not going to use for First Order, and that's Phasma. I mean, I don't
even remember what is hers.
Whenever an enemy is stunned, you take a bonus turn.
Oh my god!
Terrible. I mean, you have made Sidious a god. Well, not a god. I'll say he's a lesser god, right? So he's
a demigod.
He's not one of your good ones, but good enough to where, I mean, you're guaranteed a win if you use it in the right place. And then poor Phasma, she's already been in the trash compactor. You know, I mean, she's fallen off a cliff.
The best she can do from the trash compactor.
And so whenever an enemy is stunned, they take a bonus turn. I think that's a rough one. I'm sorry. It's like,
even
but I would say
Stormtrooper's better. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the next one for me that makes a lot of sense, which I really love, is the Inquisitors. You know, I think that they have a couple in here that I think are going to be pretty good. Mm-hmm. Nine Sister makes the most sense. And so, you know, it really, I mean, to get 200% max health and then immune to ability block is really nice. Yeah. And then, that's Ninth Sister. Sorry, Third Sister is the one that I like too. But Ninth Sister is the one I'm thinking about. It's a good
Datacron.
Yeah.
But it only affects Inquisitorious allies, and I like to use her on a Lord Vader team.
I know.
Which still maybe wouldn't be bad. It only affects her, but it makes her a little stanky, you know?
I mean, typically I don't use her with that, but I think that, I mean, if she can actually do real damage, so true damage on her basic, I mean, at least maybe she's going to hit for something, but then she's also recovering health and protection. So it says, again, when you use it with Reva, when she consumes all the stacks of her purge from a random enemy with 6 stacks of purge, recover 100% max health and max protection, and remove 50% turn meter as well. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not. It's not at all. And now that I really think it through, I feel like that would still be really good on a Lord Vader team. Because
this hard part, how is she going to get the 6 stacks of purge, though?
Well, most likely, Royal Guard is going to be taunting, right?
Yeah. So
Kat is going to either have to wait or use her insta-kill on Royal Guard. And then, well, I don't know. I don't know how that would work. Royal Guard might not have a taunt up by then. So I don't know. It'd be curious. I want to try it. I mean, if I get the ground, I'll do it. But if that's the case, she's got time to mess around and try to build up some stacks. I use her for a tank, so I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe she is too slow with putting Purge out there. Or maybe you give Lord Vader give him second sister too, or something to help out with.
I mean, the child in me, when you said she's a little bit slow with pudding, I'm like, hey, we're not talking about weight with her, right? But I don't know why, but that just hit me. Or it's like you're talking about Mr. J there, all right, pudding. But no, reading over Third Sister again, which is the one I was actually going to talk about. I really think if you're going to use one for Inquisitors, it makes more sense with the Ninth Sister, because it says whenever a character is defeated, Third Sister gains hatred for the rest of the battle until she's defeated. So that says to me, basically, when she dies, you're able to then get hatred, and I'm hoping that she doesn't die, right? So I mean, and then while Third Sister has hatred, she has 100% crit chance, 50% crit damage. At the start of the Third Sister's turn, all Inquisitorious allies with Taunt dispel all debuffs themselves and recover 20% max health and protection, and gained 20 speed for 2 turns. Not bad, but somebody has to die to get those. Yeah,
exactly. Wow. I hate that.
I don't like that.
That's bleeding banners,
Yeah. And then, and then looking at any other of the dark side ones you want to talk about, or I think we can move on to the
I think we can move to the light sides. Sure.
So I want Padme's to be good. And I already have one ready to go that is Galactic Republic. But I don't know. What do you think about Padme's?
I don't hate it. But it's kind of competing. Like, where are you going to use this?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to put this on a Jedi Master Kenobi team? Because that doesn't seem bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it doesn't all work for Galactic Legends, right? But you still get whenever a GR ally with courage or protection up, that's going to be all of them, uses any ability. If there's no enemies with provoke, a random enemy is inflicted with provoke for 1 turn. Whenever another GR ally recovers health or protection, Padme recovers double that amount. I mean, she is kind of one of the squishier ones on that team, so it's kind of decent. It just doesn't look like, outside of that, like, am I going to use her somewhere that doesn't have a Galactic Legend?
I know. That's when I keep on looking at it, though, and on the other side of it, a lot of times when Kenobi wins. Rare. Yeah. I mean, every now and then, if I do a mirror match, like, this is kind of like the Mace Windu cron right now for me, and I've been using him using 2 tanks. It just makes those mirror matches just a little bit easier for me. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is going to be better than the Mace Windu right now, or is it just an extension after Mace's goes away? But
I think actually now that I'm looking at it, that middle part is still, that's kind of interesting. When an enemy targets a non-GL Galactic Republic ally who has protection up while they're attacking out a turn, the damage they receive is reduced to 1, and the attacker is exposed for 1 turn. That's a nice little turnaround there, a little Uno reverse, I
mean, that's, like I said, I wonder.
It's
I mean,
spicy,
if it makes her more tanky.
The thing is, Jedi Master Kenobi beats almost everything.
I know.
Anyways, this is just going to make it a little more reliable. And based on those Inquisitor ones, like I said, Ninth Sister looks like it could be okay, but like, that's not going to stop Jedi Master Kenobi.
Correct.
And that's what I always counter that with. And it just feels like that's just going to make JMK a little more reliable.
Yeah.
What about this Padawan Obi-Wan?
I know.
That's a hot button one, right?
I know. I mean, it's one of those characters too where I legitimately thought about it. Like, what if I went to 7 stars with this one?
Right.
But again, it's like basically having those great new shoes that you're just never going to wear for, like the next year or something. Or you remember back in the day when your parents would buy you shoes like 2 sizes too big? Don't worry, you'll grow into these.
Right.
That's what it feels like with this.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, it's just more incentive for people to spend. But the nice thing is I don't think there's going to be a crazy ton of these, making it to where my life is totally not worth, playing this game anymore. But
yeah.
But I mean, so what it looks like is at the start of the encounter, he has a 100% crit chance, which is great, right? So whenever he evades,
counter chance, yeah,
counter chance. Sorry, yeah. And then whenever he evades, he gets 20% health and protection, which is great. And then when he attacks out of turn, he deals true damage. Now that's nice.
That's music to my ears. I always love hearing true damage. Yeah.
And so whenever turn meter is removed from an enemy, he gains foresight, which is really nice. Mm-hmm. And at the start of each Galactic Republic allies team, if words. Here we go. Let's try this again. If Padawan Obi-Wan has a stack of heal over time, he gains 20% offense, which is outstanding. So it does seem like when you do unlock, if it's 3v3 and you paid to get this one, and you like, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
If he has a stack of protection,
if there's a handmaiden,
right? Yeah. So I mean, and whenever fall below 50% health, so that's a Galactic Republics, or the first time defeated, he takes a bonus turn, resets all of his cooldowns, and removes 10% turn meter. I mean, it's saucy.
Plus an additional 10% for each relic level. So it's kind of nice. I feel like it kind of pays homage to a couple different abilities. It feels very Anakin Skywalker, like Jedi Knight Anakin, like, hey, you mess with my squad. Hey, guess what? It's my turn and I'm doing a lot of damage to you. Also feels like it would fit on a Qui-Gon or a Kelleran Beck team really well. That said, I've got a Kelleran Beck Datacron, so I'm not tabling that. Like that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's not going away. So yeah, unless you've got a full Amidala team, I don't know.
I just learned what FOMO means, so like I'm not gonna have that for this probably.
Yeah. No FOMO.
It was so funny because it actually was about the Northern Lights, and so we totally forgot about it. And so we're supposed to go outside to take a look. We woke up in the morning, and both my wife and I are like, "Oh crap! Whoops, sorry about that." And then we saw everything. We're like, "Oh man, I wish we would have actually done that."
Oh yeah. No, I tried. I couldn't see it around here. That's a bummer.
Darn city lights.
I had clouds, just a band of clouds to the north. The rest of the sky was not bad, but that was rotten. Now, I'm curious about one other cron while we're here messing around, that I want to take a look at, and that is tech. There we go. Yeah, that's what I thought. So Tex is interesting that if he uses an ability, he deals bonus damage equal to 50% of his potency. This effect will only trigger if he has more than 0% potency. Mine has a potency of 154%. Yeah. And I kind of love that. Like, the opening moves of the Bad Batch are Echo does his thing and everyone has heal immunity and daze. And then Tech does his thing and everyone gets stunned and takes a ton of damage. And this is going to ramp that up.
Yeah.
So while the Bad Batch are not an A-list meta team right now, this pushes them in the right direction.
Yeah, sure.
The stuff that they can do, this is only going to help them do it a little better. So, all right. And then the Gungans, I don't know, man. I don't
I'm
have
with you.
usable Gungans, so I read them all, but I'm like, I don't know. It seems like Jar Jar's is pretty good, but there's so much going on that team, and I don't have Jar Jar, and the rest of my Gungans are 3-star, or I think Boss Nass has. I think I have him at 5 stars by now, but like, I guess we'll see, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm with you. I'm not super excited. I'm happy for whoever has them.
Right.
And I hope it works great. But I already know it's a great team. So
yeah, I'm already avoiding it. So
I understand.
I don't like fighting it. All right. Let's see here. We've got a couple other things to go over still.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to, I mean, we're going to be going on to 4 hours if we do the kit.
Yeah, let's do the kit next week. Let's talk about Obi-Wan's kit next week. And we may have Qui-Gon's by then, so we could talk about both of them and how they work together. I like that. Let's do that. Instead, let's talk about us.
Yes, that's what matters. That's what matters.
We got 2 full weeks of Grand Arena to cover, and that's kind of that's the lifeblood of this game, right? So
yeah,
if you want to check out Grand Arena stuff once this 3v3 starts up, you can find me on twitch.tv/theothershawn, and it's Kyber 1, baby. It's ugly, but somehow I'm hanging out in there. All right, so how were the last 2 weeks of this for you?
I mean, I would say it's yin and yang, exactly what CG is looking for.
Oh, sure.
A lot of awesome and a lot of just frustration. So, I mean, I think that was kind of fun. So I'd love to talk more about like the one previous week, but we don't have, the next 4 hours to do this. But so I started the last round, not this last one, the one before, with 3 straight wins. And I won the whole thing, and I was super proud of myself.
Yeah.
And so some of the fun stuff is just that Bane wrecks so much.
I have
so much
basically
fun.
that sentence in my summary of this week too.
Right?
So
I mean,
fun.
How do you not like enjoy that? So it's great. And so the first round, it was one of the best matches I've ever had. It was really nice because they went very much hardcore on offense. So that means defense was a scenario to where I show up and they have 18-19. Okay. I got one battle. That's all I can do is mess up one battle. And luckily on defense, a little bit of a floppy D. I get all the way to ships, and Chimera loses to the last one. The last one, right? So I got one ship left. I was able to clean it up, and it was awesome because I ended up getting 18-20. I beat this guy by one.
Did you have like any solos or anything?
Oh yeah, I really went hardcore. I mean, again, Slicker was soloed, Sidious was soloed. You got Bane with 2. I mean, that really does help. It seems like right now with the Datacrons and kind of how things are, it's a little bit easier to underman these.
Yeah.
And especially because it was just no GLs on defense. So that was pretty fun.
Love it.
Second round, it's always great when people don't play. So if you see me, again, it's the Golden Pop-Tart, please don't play. And then
we love to see it. We love it.
Right? So that was nice. It was another one where ships tripped me up for a second. Profundity lost to Executor. Why? I have no clue, but still able to get a full clear. Got an 1801. And again, they got 69, so it means it wasn't a full easy clear, but it was still, hey, I probably could have beat you if I tried. So, because I think that was a GP of about probably 12.1 or so.
Oh my
goodness. And that was rough. Yeah. So going to the championship round, this is definitely one of them where it was, I guess I don't have my stats in here. It was actually going to be a really close fought battle. And so I went against Mini Fafa, maybe, but
FAFSA? Financial
Maybe,
application
right?
for federal
There you
student
go.
aid.
Denied. But luckily they were denied this time. Bane killed a SLKR. That was wonderful. So he got the lapse of GLs from Rey to Lord Vader to SLKR. So that was pretty nice. Rough things for me. I got stalled out actually. So Sidious has been killing me some Star Killers. Didn't work out. And then for some dumb reason, I used Maul versus CLS, and CLS is like, no, don't do that. And I really didn't have much left, and I tried to use Gas versus Lord Vader. No. So I don't have the final score here, but I'm pretty confident it was like 800 to like 165. And so they did the same thing. They couldn't beat Rey. And from there, it was just a frustration.
Nice. You got the hard one done in the first round.
There you go. I mean, that was pretty nice to I felt like I was on the top of the world because I was only 10 away from Kyber 1. But don't worry. I mean, reality check, it happened. And so
there's always a fall in the hero's journey, right? You got to fall.
There's always a dark forest, and you got to get through the dark forest.
That's right.
Man, I got tripped up pretty good in this next round. So I went against Abe Simpson. So that was pretty awesome.
I love it. He's just yelling at clouds while he's playing.
I know, right? I usually go through and have good, bad, and final score, and there is no good. I mean, it was. I actually had the game crash on me three straight times, and it wasn't. I mean, again, the first one wasn't bad. It was Wampa versus Mon Mothma. I could have done it, and they were at 1794 when I turned it on. I could have done this, but yeah. Then Bane versus Leia, it went through and froze, and I was just, and then finally I'm like, all right, I got to get something, and so then I did go again. I crashed again. I'm like, I have to get points. So then I took out one and died, and then so it ended up being 10 to 1794 because my brain could not handle those 3 crashes.
You know, the good news there is you lost, but after the game crashes 3 times, you just kind of say, well, my afternoon just opened up.
Right?
Like I'm not going to win, but now I can, do whatever.
I mean, typically I do
a puzzle, some Sudoku or something.
It's usually on lunch or like in breaks for work. So now I'm like, crap, now I got to go back to work. So,
yeah.
But anyway, so then the next round was another loss against Anakin 33. So this one was a little bit closer, and honestly, ships was the challenge. Bane was easily able to take down Rey. Sith Eternal against Beck. I'll tell you what, I don't mess around with that. That's a tough team to go against.
Yeah.
And my Leia wasn't souped up by any means. Yes, she had some relics to her, but she didn't have all the Zetas. And so I lost actually a couple times with her in the first than the other rounds. So I used against Traya with Oppress, and that was a nice and easy win. Downside is I just couldn't beat the ships. Every counter just didn't work. So I ended up getting 1,400 even to a blistering 1839.
You weren't going to win that anyways, my
friend.
Greed,
right?
I didn't know you could get 1839.
I didn't either. It was a whooping.
I thought the max score you could possibly get was like 1835 or something like not that I would ever get that.
I mean, let me double check, but I'm pretty confident that's what it is. Maybe it was actually
I believe you. And that may
but
be a couple seasons ago. Maybe now with Bane that makes it possible or something, with Bane all things are possible.
No, it's 1839. And when I look at defense, it just says there wasn't any. I mean, let's see here. Looking at it wise, Bane against my Jabba, SLKR versus my, TO team.
Yeah.
Sith Eternal. If I remember right, I think this is a pretty high GP person too.
I would think.
Yeah, so
1839, you got
it was a whooping.
Tools
it definitely.
Tool belt. Yeah.
So, I mean, then we go into the final round. And at this point, I don't care. I mean, I know that I'm not going to win. I know I'm probably going to get last place.
Yeah.
And, you know, I went against Light Warrior, and he wasn't light. Like, he was a beefy warrior.
You were tanking for a good draft pick, is what you were doing.
Yes, there you go, right? I just make it to where it's easier for me to win in 3v3 at the beginning. But, yeah, I came into it, and I saw a score of 18-21. So, and I'm thinking, one, why is this person at like 12 million GP in my neck of the woods?
Yeah.
Like, you know, we don't like you in our neighborhood. Go somewhere else.
Right.
But 18-21 is what I saw. And at that point, I'm like, all right, you know, I'll start off Bane versus Leia, easy win. And then I'm like, what am I going to do? It was Bane. I was like, do I go Leia? Do I go Rey? And so I'll put it online on Insight, said that, you know, Leia should be able to beat Rey.
Yeah.
No, it didn't work.
Not
so
always.
After that, I'm like, okay, I am good. I am happy with this. So I ended up at 135 to a whopping 18-21. And so I won and I got last place. So, I mean, got a little bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Really.
So how about, I got to hear about this Kyber 1 and how you big boys play.
It was a little more even Steven in my experience. So week 2, I went up against PDX Wing. I had mentioned that last podcast that I ended up losing 1059 to 1818. Round 2, let's do it. D0 Stones Joe. Cool. Lost that one, 1771 to 1804. You know, whatever. So I'm in the toilet bowl up against someone called Making My Way in the Galaxy, and I hear the Vanessa Carlton song every time I see the name, Making My Way Downtown. And that drove me crazy. 1829 to 1825, I pull off a win. Beautiful. Beautiful. Not a lot of defensive holds, only 2 through that whole week. Yikes. But, you know, whatever. Lose 2, win 1. So, go on to week 3. I am traveling for work, and I forgot to attack, and I got to board a plane. And I'm like, man, I looked at this roster, like, I can beat this kid. So, I am, like, 5 minutes from boarding. And I do a battle. Cool, I win. I guess I got time. They haven't called my number yet. I'll do another battle. Bane, I think, was my first battle. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I took out Rey with Seer. And that can get a little dicey, but that went really well. I'm like, that felt good. Oh, there's a General Grievous? Let's feed the Wampa. And I'm in line. I'm going down the little, like, portable hallway thing to the plane, whatever they call it. I'm stupid. I don't know. And I'm doing battle after battle after battle. I messed up. CLS failed against Trench. But he took out Trench and Dooku. So, like, easy cleanup, right? Yeah. Cleaned that up with Radis. And then I am on the plane. We are taxiing. They told me to put it in airplane mode. I'm like, look, I'm going to... I need a minute.
If I take down this plane, it doesn't matter.
I did a full clear. I put up 1790. Awesome. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. They put up 1785. So, like, this whole, I better do one attack so I get some rewards.
Yeah.
Turned into, I just beat this dude on a plane.
There you go.
That
awesome.
was Karshan. Round 2, I went up against Mini D Bulldog. And I'm going to be honest. It was a friend of mine's birthday. So I was at a birthday party and I just kind of like forgot about it. So like 20 minutes before the end, I went in and did one battle and lost it. I lost with Sith Eternal versus Jedi Master Luke. But they only put up 1706. I could have won that.
Yeah, you could have.
My Finn with Holdo got a hold against Slicker, against Starkiller, against Night Sisters, against Maul, and against Gas, and then they had to use Bane to take him out. 6 teams. My Lord Vader got a hold against Fennec and JMR. Who's JMR?
JMR. Jedi Master Revan?
I think it was actually a Jedi Knight Revan is what I meant to type. Yeah, I think that was
awesome.
JKR. Keller and Beck got a hold against Qui-Gon Jinn, Captain Phasma, and Bosk, and Negotiator got a hold against Chimera. So my defense was on point. I just didn't attack. So I absolutely could have won that. All right, so I'm 1-1. I go into the finals against Cornbread.
Love it. Love it. Cornbread.
The names. Good.
That's awesome.
Grief. So my Seer fails against Rey, but it took out Holdo, Ben, and Jedi Training Rey. So ain't much left to deal with. I think it was Shorty and I don't know, someone else. Barris, maybe? No. Oh, Rey. Yeah. Rey and Shorty. And so Jedi Master Luke cleaned that up. Malgus failed against Seer. Sith Eternal cleaned it up. Gas failed against Radis. I'm like, what is going on here? Profundity fails against Executor. It's just not my day. But I did manage to clear it. And my Finn held strong, and I won 17-23 to 10-83. Defensive holds that week, 16.
Wow.
Because
I mean, that's a lot.
D Bulldog just kept, he was, I guess, appropriate name, just wouldn't let go. Kept attacking. All right. We got to wrap this up.
I know, right? There's a lot.
My goodness gracious. Is there anything else, or do we just stop recording?
I think we should be done, right?
Well, I'm thinking there might be one other thing that we could throw in as bonus content, since we missed a week, is we could just let them know who we grinded.
I guess we could. Oh,
so who you grinded?
We missed actually we didn't gripe through the whole thing.
Oh my goodness. We need a bonus episode.
That. Well,
right. wait. TLDR. Cal event. Fun. Bo-Katan event. Different F word.
Yes.
Hated it.
Horrible. Just
so much
horrible. It's like, I mean, I don't know if I've been that frustrated with an event ever in this game. And the fact that they just, I mean, that in that first 2, you could press a button and you're just done. It didn't matter what you do, right? You just die. Yeah. Okay, well, let me go to mods. Then you're like, well, that has to be the tough one. Then you get to the next one and I'm watching the videos. Oh, this is one of the tougher ones to do. Did you by any chance watch Scribe's video? I did, yes. Yeah, I love it because the first one killed me. That was the Keller and Beck one, and I'm like, oh man, this is hard. So I'm looking up videos, and I came across his video, and it's very good. But it's funny because he's like, oh, this first phase is this is the easy one, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I know, right? And then the second one is now this one's a little more tricky. I'm like, all right, well, let's see. I go in dead. Oh, this is a little more tricky. And then the third one. Now, this one's really difficult. And I'm like, you know what? No, I already snapped my phone in half. Let's, I know. Okay. So, but we're done with that. Yes. We're done. And we are done. Yeah. Nope. I'm done. I hated it. Back to it. Who you grinded? Yeah, who am I grinding? Well, I mean, at this point, I've been grinding so much, I'm sore. I am oh, I probably shouldn't have said that, but something about carpet and burn. So I won't actually, I won't go through to say anything else. All right, so who am I grinding? Bo. Paz was at gear 12. He is all the way up to relic 8. So nice. I couldn't beat it with relic 7 because I was trying not to have to do Zetas. Thank the maker that we had Zeta, drops, which is great. But yes, you heard that right. Gear 12 to relic 8. And then IG 12, guess what? Gear 12 to Relic 7. Kelleran from Gear 12 to Relic 7. Whew. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a lot. And like I said, it was economically assisted. It's the only thing I can kind of say on that piece.
Yeah.
And so then I go through the event, and I had to get Zetas really bad. And so I'll go to my Zetas real quick to tell you which ones those are. So Paz, I had to get the 2, and I had 0. And then IG-12, I had to have that Zeta in there as well to get him to assist. So I had to get 3 Zetas right there just so I could actually do the event.
Yeah.
And that means, did you know there are refreshes for 1,600 crystals in Cantina?
What? Yes, I did not know that.
I do. Yes. So, ouch, people. Yeah. Ouch. But
some gave all, you know.
It got done. And so Bo, she is unlocked. She has 0 Zetas because we ain't got none.
Yeah.
And then Omicrons ain't happening right now. I'm sounding very Midwestern, like in the deep end of the
you got a little park. Cincinnati there.
Yeah, I know, a little bit. But I'm a little bit saucy on this one. So, but she is up to Relic 6. We are going to go to Relic 8 because this team I've already invested. I think it's going to be outstanding. I love to play with this team.
Yeah.
But she is going to be that next Relic 8 character. So the thing is that same time, my next grind just finished, and that is Leia. So last time we talked, I did not have her unlocked yet. So Leia was unlocked, and she had to go all the way up to Relic 8. So Leia unlocked Relic 8. That means I have 2 characters that I went to Relic 8. And then I had 4 to Relic 7. Let's just say I am broke financially. Yeah. I am broke like with signal data. I am broke when it comes to shard shop currency. Like I'm broke. I mean, so
you've been through a lot, my man.
I'm tired. Been through a lot. I am so tired. it feels like an accomplishment. But what that does mean for me is that I really do have a little bit of time right now. I'm going to go. Gungans are going to be the case with a side of Leviathan getting to that point. But I decided a couple of the characters I just want to do, I'm just going to do. And so just for me, I love Katie Mundy. New book came out where he's kind of in there and he's hilarious. I love it. So I decided he's going to go up to probably Relic 5 for me because I've been using him at Gear 12 or Gear 8 for a long time, and it's just been working. So
with Qui-Gon and Kelleran, I mean, that's a sound investment for sure.
Yeah. So he was Gear 8, so now he's Gear 11, almost 12. And so Armor, I actually just love her from the show. I know that she can work in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't mind in the bow team. She's probably going to go in my bow team. But she was only Gear 6, but I got her up to Gear 8. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
So then moving on kind of ships wise, BLT only got 9. So 20 out of 100 to 29, just because we were farming the old light sides and kind of forgot about it. And then speaking of things I should probably forget about, I've been also working on Raven's Claw. So he's 50 out of 65 up to a whopping 0 out of 85, which is wonderful. And last but not least, Boss Nass went from 27 out of 30 up to 19 out of 65. Unfortunately, he is dark side energy, so we had to take a little bit of break.
Yeah.
Last thing, when it comes to Zetas, this is crazy. I had to, for Leia, I had to do Rolo and Captain Hans to beat that event.
Oh, yep. Golly.
Those be stupid, right? So that's at 2. If you're keeping track, I mean, you can use all your fingers in this one, but
we already
you might
had
have to grab
3,
one toe.
And now
right?
we just added, so we've got
2
5
more.
just for clearing events.
Yep. And then Leia had 6.
Yeah.
I mean,
so that's
ouch, guys.
11. And then Bo as well.
I don't have any for Bo yet.
And you don't have any on her yet.
So
yeah.
I'm Zeta poor at this point, but that is crazy to do that many Zetas in 1 week. But again, thank you, CG.
No doubt.
No, not thank you. Like, I mean, maybe if there wasn't around, I probably wouldn't have made that mad dash push. Maybe I would have just waited a month, but I mean, I regret it, but I don't regret it. So
no regrets.
Like I said, my grinding event has left me with rug burns and feel like I got dragged. So I gotta know, and you gotta help me out with this one because I gotta feel better about myself. Who you grinding?
Well, I don't have any rug burns, but I did dislocate my jaw.
Oh,
this
what?
Weekend.
Oh my gosh!
I literally dislocated my jaw eating Doritos. Like it's not like when you picture like a big sandwich that you'd have to really open wide.
Yeah,
no, Doritos.
Wow.
Anyways, now it only hurts when I yawn. So
or talk, move my mouth, anything, right?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I had a big week too. Really. Cal unlocked him, took him up to Relic 7, gave him all his Zetas.
Awesome.
Did the thing so that I could lose that territory battle. Man, that is tough.
That's a tough one, yeah.
And I'll be honest, I got in there and I remodded for it and I watched a video and I kind of understood. And I get in there and I realize I'm like, I don't actually know how this guy's kit works.
Mm-hmm.
And I got real confused and I messed it up. I tried, but now my guild has explained to me, look here, you big dope. This is how it works, you know. But live and learn, I guess. Yeah, so it took him up to Relic 7. Unlocked Bo, and I got her stuck at Gear 12 until finally today I spent a few crystals. No, like, real money, just some crystals I had kicking around. I got her up to Gear 13, so she is Relic 4 now.
Nice.
And we'll keep pushing that up. Leviathan, man, I'm at 70 out of 100, so soon that's happening.
Yeah.
I did some work on Stap as well. 52 out of 65, pushed up to 13 out of 85. And Raven's Claw, I found myself in a spot where I felt like spending fleet currency on that instead of helpful gear for Bo-Katan, whom I was about to unlock. So I took it from 1 up to 37 out of 100. And then my Jar Jar stuff, like Boss Nass is coming along.
Yeah, he is.
Went from 19 out of 65 up to 14 out of 85. So not a bad 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then like just little bonus stuff. Everyone else is in the 20s, 20 out of 30 something. Zetas, I did 3 for Cal, 3 for Bo. Can't believe those bonus drops were huge for me in getting all of those. I am hours away from an Omicron here, and that's going to Bo. Pretty sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure that's headed her way. And then Datacrons, I only have 2 so far, but I got one of them is First Order, the one that I mentioned, bunch of extra offense, and so many of the actual just ability ones are bonus offense. So I'm loving that. Yeah. And the other one is like level 3. It's a light side, such and such. Who knows? Who cares? Yeah. All right, that's all we got for you this week. It may not be the best advice, but at least we didn't recommend gacking on a plane. If you want to continue the conversation, join our Discord server. It's linked in the show description. You can become a real live Jawa by supporting us on Patreon, like Pabuapa does. And share your thoughts by leaving us a podcast review. Big thanks also go out to swgoh.gg and swgohevents.com for providing all the hard data we misinterpret weekly. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Force and RNG be with you.